I want to stress that you do not need a last will and testament. Wouldn't it be more fun to let all of your stuff go into probate court and then let your family fight it out? My name is John Ross with Finance on a Budget. In this video, I want to talk to you about wills and leaving stuff behind for your family. Probate is a legal process that manages the assets and liabilities of the person that passes away. If you have an older family member and you stand to inherit a house or other IRA type of assets, then you really need to hope that they have a will. Maybe your family member is lazy, but maybe they are bipolar sociopaths and simply refuse to give it to anybody. In this case, then you and everyone else that ever showed up at the funeral is now going to have to fight it out in probate court. Similarly, when you're young, it may not be important to you now, but if you have a wife and child, then it'll definitely save you and your family a lot of stress down the road if you get your affairs in order as early as possible. It'll certainly save your family a lot of trouble down the road if you can get your finances in order as quickly as you can. What is intestacy? The term intestacy refers to a person's estate when they die without a will. Any existing real estate holdings will be split up by the court, as well as the bank accounts, securities, and life insurance proceeds. If they own property that's worth more than the debts that they have, then the probate court will take charge of distributing the assets of the deceased. This happens when the testator doesn't have the will that contains instructions on how the assets will be passed on to the heirs or beneficiaries. In this case, a person is said to have died intestate. Intestate. A court-appointed administrator will then compile the assets, pay liabilities, and distribute the remaining assets as needed according to state laws. When someone contests a will, the probate court, which takes care of wills, estates, conservatorships, and guardianships, will decide on the ruling of the authority of the document. The mental state of the person who signed the will is also taken into consideration. Please be sure to like this video, subscribe, and ring the notification bell. As always, leave a little comment letting me know that you care. What happens when there is no will? When a person dies with no will, the next of kin will be handed down the assets of the deceased as in the law of intestate succession. Man, this whole video is a tongue twister. Either the designator of the will for the deceased or the surviving member will file a petition with the probate court system of the state. The court will appoint someone as the executor or administrator of the state. If you're planning on serving as the administrator, remember to review the assets of the deceased to check if the estate qualifies for an estate probate exemption. Then identify which county you'll file for probate. Prepare a certified copy of the death certificate and bring it to the courthouse. You'll also need to request forms for a petition to letters of administration so that you can officially ask the court to act as the personal representative. Then you will be required by law to inform everyone that you are petitioning for probate. This includes publishing in a local newspaper to let people know about a notice of petition to administer the estate. This is stupid because who reads a newspaper anymore? You also need to send out the notices to the homes of the other family members. This will effectively inform all creditors to file their claims against the estate in a span of about 4 months. Also make sure that you have an official court document called the Grant of Letters of Administration to prove that you have the right to act as an administrator for the estate. This document also gives you the power to close bank accounts, distribute assets, pay debts, and sell property. Between submitting the probate application and receiving the Grant of Letters of Administration, what a dumb name, the process should then take about 30 days. So, who gets the good stuff? If there is no estate plan, interstate succession dictates to the order of the heirs to inherit the estate. This means who has the first right to inherit. At least half of the estate will go to the surviving spouse. However, the whole thing may go to the spouse if there are no living children or grandchildren. If all are living, spouses and children share the estate. Next in line are parents and siblings, followed by other relatives depending on the state. Adopted children are heirs, but stepchildren are not considered heirs if there is no will to dictate such. Not having a will help cut off the creditor claims and resolve conflicts on claiming property. Intestate succession will decide the order of who takes what first, so disputes can be put to rest and family feuds avoided. There are possibly some federal or state taxes that could be due. These numbers were all over the place depending on where you live, so I can't be specific here, but I will say your inheritance needs to be over $1 million before any real penalties will occur. After that, you will need to do your own research in the details, as it could end up being as high as 40%. Family squabbles. You need to remember that not having a will actually leads to more conflicts among those who are left behind. It's going to be chaos to arrange your affairs, and it will take forever to get anything organized. If you don't have a will and you leave behind minors as successors, the court will ask family members to volunteer as their guardian. If you don't have family members who are fit to serve or willing to volunteer to take care of the kids, then the court will have no choice but to make your children wards of the state. They may even have to enter the foster care system. Add to that the fact that your surviving family members will be grieving, so it's not exactly the most efficient way to suppress any hard feelings that may drive a wedge between anyone from the kids to the favorite aunt. The bottom line is you have to get your affairs in order with a lawyer now while you still can. If not, your family will be left to fight over the last corner of the land when you're long gone. This is a cause for unwanted stress during a difficult time. Please be sure to give this video a like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell. Thanks for watching.